Hello and welcome. Good afternoon. You're watching Market Fatafat on 80 now. I am Snehi Shah. This is a show where we'll be taking you through all the big buzzers in today's trading session, tell you why they're under the spotlight, also give you a technical check on some of these stocks, and we welcome our experts on board today. But before we do that, let's take a look at what the markets are doing. Well, it's still sub the 23,700 mark for us. Let's just address the flashes on the bottom of the screen. The government is open to cutting. We'll just get you what it means. Government is estimating to hit the 66 billion worth of its exports to United States from US reciprocal tariffs. This is what we are understanding from sources right now, and important to understand what this could mean for our markets as well going ahead. And let's just see if this has any, we'll give the Nifty some time to react to this. And the government is open to cutting tariffs on more than half of US imports worth 23 billion. That's the big breaking that we're getting for you right now, because remember earlier, a few days ago rather, Donald Trump had said that they would be charging India the exact amount of import tariffs that we charge them. So now the government is open to cutting tariffs of more than half the exports that we do to the US imports, and government is open to tariff cuts on as much as zero from range of 5% to 30% on 55% of US imports. That's the exact number we are getting. The government wants relief from US reciprocal tariffs in return for tariff cuts. So that's the kind of trade that we're hoping to see, and seal the deal with the US government on the back of the tariffs. And government also estimates hits to 66 billion worth of its exports to United States from US reciprocal tariffs. So in case this deal doesn't go through, $66 billion worth of our exports could get hit on the back of the reciprocal tariffs. So right now, that's the big word coming in, and it's a big breaking coming in right now. The government is open to cutting tariffs on more than half of US imports worth $23 billion. Well, that's what the big news is right now. Let's see if Nifty is not doing all that much on the back of this news as well. A 0.1% uptick coming in, but we still continue to stay sub the 23,700 mark. And let's take a look at what the other indices are doing, because Sensex also was largely in tandem with what the Nifty was doing earlier in the day as well. The Sensex is also rather very flat right now. We're once again below the 78,000 mark on the Sensex, so it's just dilly-dallying over there. India VIX has cooled off significantly, so that's something that's looking good. Nifty Bank also 0.2% lower. Broader markets are also languishing. On that note, let's welcome on board Osho Krishan, Senior Analyst Technical and Derivative Research at Angel One. And Osho, hi, thanks so much for joining us on the show. And from our in-house research team, we also have Rabinder who's joining us. Osho, first of all, we'll come to you. Give us a sense on Ambuja Cement today. We've seen a brokerage note coming in on cement that I'll be talking about a little later. But what is your sense on Ambuja Cement, and what are the next levels that you're watching on the charts for this one?
Very good afternoon to both of you, and firstly, thank you for inviting me at the show. Well, looking at the technical perspective of Ambuja Cement, then off lately the counter have started gaining very strong traction and is now hovering above the 50 and 20-day exponential moving average, and has also given a very strong sloping trendline breakout. So I'm expecting that with the current momentum, there is a possibility for this counter to test the zone of 550, 555 on a very short-term perspective, and a continue or a sustained buying above 555 can provide a decent upsurge in the counter, and I'm expecting a target of nearly 580 to 590 from a short-term perspective. So overall, the technical structure looks very positive, and there has been a change in the counter trend. So I'm expecting that in the short-term period, or even from a medium-term perspective, one can look for buying opportunity in Ambuja Cement.
Okay, so looking good on the charts for Ambuja Cement. Let's get you the fundamental reason why all of these cement counters are up and away in today's trade. Ultratech being the biggest beneficiary of this note, and it's a brokerage note coming in from UBS this morning, wherein they believe that the rough patch is coming to an end for the cement space. They've turned positive now on this sector, and they anticipate an earnings upcycle to emerge in FY26. They're also forecasting strong earnings growth over FY25 to 27, and they also see demand bouncing back in FY26. Structural cost reduction is on the anvil for the bigger players in the market, and two market leaders have the upper hand as the consolidation continues. This is Ultratech and Ambuja. They also believe that the sector is trading slightly higher than its past 5-year mean 1-year forward EV/EBITDA. So that's also looking rather good for the sector right now. On a stock-specific basis, Ultratech Cement, they've upgraded the stock to a buy rating from a neutral earlier. Target price has been hiked to 13,000 from 9,000, so that's a big jump coming in. For Ambuja Cement, they've upgraded the stock to a buy from a sell rating. Target price has been hiked to 620 from 475 earlier. For ACC Cement, they continue to maintain their buy rating, but the target price has been cut nominally to 22.50 from 24.50 earlier. And lastly, for Dalmia Bharat, they've upgraded the stock to a buy rating from sell. Target price has been cut to 2100 from 2160 earlier. So that's UBS's take on the entire cement sector. It's a rather positive note coming in. On the back of that, Ultratech is up 3.5, even amid a market that's currently very range bound. Ambuja Cement also doing pretty well in today's trading session. Well, let's move on then. Shift focus to the IT pack. And Ravinder, from this group, you've picked out HCL Tech for us. Tell us why this has made it to your radar and what's the news flow here.
Well, HCL Tech is in focus, where HCL Tech and Western Union has announced a strategic partnership to drive innovation and transformation in financial service industry. The strategic partnership established HCL Tech as a Western Union's largest preferred partners as they collaborate to transition to a platform operating model, accelerate platform and channel transformation, and leverage expertise in digital engineering, expand technology footprint in India. And commenting on this partnership, President and CEO of Western Union added, the collaboration with HCL Tech is a testament to our shared vision of delivering exceptional value to customer. And also CEO and MD of HCL Tech said that this partnership emphasizes companies' focus on empowering fintech companies through digital engineering-led transformation and creating exceptional value for the stakeholders. And so back of this new stock is up almost 2%.
Okay, looking good for HCL Tech right now. 1.6% gain coming in, and especially looking good because of the way the market is acting right now. Osho, coming to you, Container Corp or Concor is the stock that you've picked out for us. If I take a look at the charts, last 1 month the stock is up 5%. However, in the last 6 months, the stock is lower by almost 20%. So are you seeing any more recovery on the charts for this one, or do you believe this is going to be a laggard, or what's the momentum that you are penciling on the charts for this stock?
See, overall, the counter has seen a very decent correction from the zone of nearly 1600 towards the zone of 600, 620 odd levels. But in the last few trading weeks, there has been very strong positive movement that has been seen in this counter, and that has emerged above the 50-day exponential moving average after a very long period of time. So I'm expecting that with the recent development, there has been a significant development of sloping trendline breakout. So there is a possibility of continued momentum in the counter. So one can definitely look for buying opportunity in this counter. On immediate basis, the higher end resistance is placed around the zone of 800, while on the lower end, 650, 660 is a very strong support for the counter. So I'm expecting that from here onwards, approximately 90 to 100 points of rally can be seen in the short-term period.
Okay, so 90 to 100 points further uptick for Concor is what Osho is penciling in for that stock. Let's talk about Garden Reach. This stock is in focus and it has signed a contract with Germany-based cast and render Schiffsmakler and Reedery GmbH and Company. This is for the construction and delivery of 7th and 8th 7500 DWT multipurpose vehicles, or multipurpose vessels rather. This agreement follows the option agreement between the two parties for the procurement of 4 additional MPVs, bringing Garden Reach's total order to 8 vessels. The overall contract value remains at approximately $108 million with no change in financial terms. So on the back of this pact that they have inked with this German company for 2 more MPVs, with which it already had an existing order of the previous MPVs, the stock is fizzled out in today's trading session. It was doing pretty well today, but nonetheless it's an almost 1% gain coming in for Garden Reach. So well, let's see how the stock performs in today's trading session going ahead. And Osho, coming to you, you've picked out Avenue Supermarts for us on the charts. Now DMart, it's had quite the story on the fundamentals on the back of quick commerce, e-commerce, and a lot of factors that were affecting the stock on the back of fundamentals, but they remain solid in terms of their expansion plan. So fundamentally, while the stock might be sound on the back of technicals, what are you seeing for Avenue Supermarts?
See, for DMart, there has been a very positive development that has been seen. Firstly, there is a positive crossover among the short and medium term moving averages, and secondly, it is hovering at a very crucial breakout zone of 4,000. So any sustained buying above 4,000 can give a very strong momentum in the counter, and I am eyeing for a target of nearly 4,600 from short to medium term perspective. So looking at the overall technical setup, the counter has made a very strong base for itself around the levels of 36 to 3,700 levels, and any surge beyond the zone of 4,000 on a sustained manner can provide a very strong momentum in the coming period. So one can definitely start accumulating this counter for a target of nearly 4,600 in the short to medium term perspective, and once it reaches the target of 4,600, then we can even expect a further rally in the coming periods.
Okay, so that's the target 4600, quite the up move from here for DMAT. But on that note, we'll slip into a very short break and keep it going with all the big buzzes in today's trade when we return. Hi there, welcome back to Market Fatafat. Let's keep it going about all the stock newsmakers in today's trading session. And Ravinder, coming to you, Brigade Enterprises, the stock that you've picked out. Now, I believe the news flow is positive, but the stock is given into the market pressure. But nonetheless, tell us what the news flow is.
Well, Brigade has acquired land parcel of about 4.4 acre of land in Whitefield in East Bangalore for the development of residential project with a total development potential of 0.6 million square feet and a gross development value of approx 950 crores. The development will feature state-of-the-art amenities and high-end specification, ensuring a premium lifestyle for its residential, and will offer a mix of spacious apartments designed to meet the need of contemporary families. But the stock price is moving in opposite direction, down almost 2%.
Okay, so that's the take on Brigade Enterprises. Osho, coming to you, KPIT Tech is the stock that you've picked out for us. Now, this is a stock, that we don't normally talk about on this show because, but nonetheless, midcap IT and IT sector overall has been in focus. Today also the sector is doing pretty well for itself. Last 1 month, the stock has not done much, a 5% uptick coming in. Year to date, the stock is down by 10%, and last 1 year move also a 5% cut coming in. So it's been rather flat. It's not doing all that much. So do you believe that the stock could pick up momentum going ahead now?
See, overall, KPIT Tech has a very strong support, historical support around the zone of 1300, 1250 odd levels. And looking at the recent developments, the counter is on a verge of giving a reversal from the crucial support zone. So I'm expecting that once there is a confirmation of a breakout of the sloping trend line, which is approximately around the same levels, 1370, 1380 on a closing basis, then we can see a continued momentum in the counter. So overall, this counter is on a verge and giving an early sign of reversal. So I'm expecting that in the coming period, it is a very strong opportunity to accumulate this counter for an immediate target of nearly 1550, and if it breaches the zone of 1550, then we can see reclaiming the zone of 1700 and 1750 from short-term perspective.
Okay, so that's the take on KPIT Tech. Let's move on and talk about a QIP candidate. Remember, there are 4 companies that have come out with QIPs, out of which 3 are PSBs. But let's talk about one that isn't, and that's Restaurant Brands Asia. They've announced the launch of their qualified institutional placement last evening, 3 months after they received the board of directors not to raise funds up to 500 crore through the issuance of multiple securities. Now, the floor price of the QIP has been fixed at 62.3 rupees per share, which is about 3.2% lower than the stock's closing price of 64.4 yesterday. It's in fact lower than the stock's price, where the stock is currently trading right now, also at 63.1, and this is despite a 2% downtick that the stock is already seeing today. So on the back of this QIP floor price being lower than the current market price, the stock is taking a little bit of a dip today. It's 2% lower as we speak, and net proceeds from the fundraiser are expected to be used for prepayment of debt and capital expenditure. Motilal Oswal, we understand, is the sole book running lead manager of the QIP, and the fast food company's operator may offer a discount of not more than 5% on the floor price calculated for the QIP. This is according to the exchange filing. So on the back of that, Restaurant Asia is down 2%. This is, of course, popularly known as Burger King. That's the stock that we are talking about. But let's move on, and Osho, you've picked out CEAT for us on the charts. Tell us what's the outlook for this stock, because last 1 month it's 6% higher. Year to date, however, it's 10% lower. So tell us what's the outlook going ahead. A slight bit of a recovery that we've seen. Do you see that sustaining for CEAT?
Yes, there has been a very decent buying traction from the zone of nearly 25-20 odd levels, and is now hovering around the zone of 2900 odd levels. But the positive development is that counter has seen a very strong movement and has surged beyond the short term and even 200-day exponential moving average. So looking at the overall sentiment, there has been a turnaround in the trend for the counter, and also there has been a kind of a sloping trend line breakout on the daily time frame chart. So overall, all the technical developments construes to a positive development in this counter, and there is a possibility of reclaiming the zone of 3000, 3100 in the short-term perspective. So for a short-term trader, one can definitely look to accumulate or buy the counter at current levels, keeping approximately the zone of 2750 as a stop loss, and I'm expecting a very short-term target of 3100, and even once it breaches the zone of 3100, then it can see a further movement also.
positive outlook on the charts for CET. Let's move on, and Rabinder, you've picked out a stock that's actually, holding up very well in today's trading session on the back of a massive order win coming in. That's Kalpataru Projects. Give us the details of what the order is looking like and what's helping the stock stay afloat amid a market like this.
Well, Kalpataru Project International and its international subsidiaries has secured a notification of award of approx 2,366 crore, and company has received order in transmission and distribution business in India and overseas market, and orders in building and factories business in India. With these new orders, company's order intake till FY25 has reached to 24,850 crores, providing good visibility for improved execution and growth going forward. So back of this news, stock is up over 3%.
Okay, looking very good for Kalpataru Projects in today's trade. Osho, coming to you, TCS is the stock that you've picked out for us. IT is in focus, especially large cap IT companies. Tell us what's the outlook on the charts.
See, overall, there has been a very steep correction in TCS from the zone of 4,500 towards the zone of 3,500. But overall, in the last 2 to 3 trading weeks, the counter.
Okay, I believe we've snapped that line with Osho, but the stock that he was talking about is TCS. But anyway, viewers, that was the last stock that we were able to accommodate on this show. But we'll see you again tomorrow at the same time to talk about all the stocks that will be buzzing in tomorrow's trade, and we'll be doing all of this quickly in under a minute. But on that note, we'll wrap it up on this edition of Market Fatafat. Osho and Rabinder, thank you so much for joining us, and it's a goodbye from the team and me and the team that put the show together. Thank you so much.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.